For Steve Zappia, WKBW-TV was home for 33 years as he helped build the old Churchill Tabernacle into the first home of Circle 7. It was 1958 when Rick Azar signed the station on the air with, "Ladies and gentlemen, WKBW-TV Channel 7 is on the air," followed by Jimmy Cagney and Yankee Doodle Dandy. And as they say, the rest is history. But that history was molded by Steve and the many behind-the-scenes greats who created live television every day. It was a magical time for TV. Dialing for Dollars, Rocket Ship 7, and Eyewitness News with Irv, Rick, and Tom. Steve had his hand in everything from producing to directing and building sets. Rocket Ship 7 with Dave Thomas was the staple of the 60s, as kids flocked to their TV sets every morning as Promo the Robot, Dave and Steve entertained audiences with Davy and Goliath and Gumby in between their antics. A few years later, the Commander Tom Show welcomed kids home from school with Dust Mop, Maddie, and Cicely, while Superman and the Three Stooges entertained us in the afternoon, all with Steve behind the scenes. And of course, it was live as well as the commercials.
The technology, of course, has changed an awful lot. The advent of videotape was probably the biggest thing that happened in this industry, because before videotape, these guys had to rehearse everything. We had to rehearse and do all of the commercials live in the newscast. And of course, the news was live. There was no videotape. All we had was a little film.
In fact, we were talking, Rick, remember, relate that story about the commercial you were doing for the dairy. You had practiced the ice cream, right.
You remember that. Yeah, we used to have to rehearse, as Steve was just saying, and we would get in around 10 o'clock, and the commercials were rehearsed, the newscast was rehearsed, and I was doing some commercials for some strawberry ice cream.
There you are.
Seal test. Is that it? No, that's Milk for Health. I did the commercials for Milk for Health, too. At any rate, they didn't want to bring the ice cream out an hour before airtime because it would be soup by the time we got on the air with the lights and everything. So you just pretended they had the empty thing there, and I'm saying all this beautiful things about the strawberry ice cream. And then came time to do the commercial, and the production person who was ever around forgot to put the ice cream out there. And we got a nice big close-up shot of an empty jar. And I'm saying, isn't this gorgeous, beautiful, tasty strawberry ice cream? And there wasn't any in there.
While these shows were all about the kids, nothing was more precious to Zappia than the variety telethon, back when big stars came to town. Steve headed up the production of the telethon from 1961 until his retirement in 1996. The Children's Playroom at Children's Hospital is even named in his honor.
You could see with Variety Telethon and Steve's involvement with the Variety people that he was 100% in it for the kids. His face would just glow when there would be a special kid moment or a family moment on the telethon. And he really prepared for the telethon. He took hours and hours and hours of time throughout the year to put on what needed to be accomplished.
Steve was a pioneer in Buffalo television who made his mark first at Main Street, then to the present location, creating a state-of-the-art facility near Buffalo's waterfront in 1978.
Steve Zappia, I met him at Main Street, the old station. Went for an interview, talked for about an hour, and I handed him my resume, and he handed it to Don Howland. And after maybe about 6 years after that, I got a call to come in to do some summer relief for him. And the rest was history.
The technology may have changed over the years, and shows may have become a little too real these days, but nothing was more real than how Steve Zappia created memories for generations and touched the lives of so many that passed through the doors of WKBW-TV.
Steve, thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope I showed you well, and I live your legacy, and I know now that I've been at the station for as long as I've been, what you had to go through on a day-to-day basis. I tip my hat off to you. You really were the beginning of my life in broadcasting. Thank you for everything.
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be sitting here today. So thanks, Steve. Congratulations.
For that, we thank you and are proud to induct you into the Buffalo Broadcasters Hall of Fame in the Al Anscombe Broadcast Management category.